So, just for the beginning, I would like to ask you, how many of you have been to Solaria at least once? Congratulations, all of us increased our risks to get skin cancer for 75%. Skin cancer. Yes. Analyze your feelings and thoughts when you saw this picture. Well, unpleasant. I see that some of you don't want to look at it. I will change it. And I'm pretty sure that many of you thought that, well, it's unpleasant, but it's not about me. It will never happen to me, so I shouldn't think about it. And unfortunately, this attitude is quite common in our society and in different levels. On personal level, on institutional level. And this attitude also is quite clearly reflected in our regulations. Regulations of action of Solaria. Actually, there are almost no limits. You can go there and use them at any age, any time you wish. On the other hand, we have 5,000 skin cancer victims, and doctors saying that actually Latvia is on the eve of an epidemic, that from all oncological illnesses, skin cancer is on the first place. And yes, really, Solaria increases your risks to get ill with skin cancer. Another challenge that we have was really small budget and no possibility to get support from marketing side. And at the same time, very big goals, very challenging goals, I would say, to change not only public's attitude but behavior also, and to influence and change regulations that exist in Solaria regarding Solaria activities. So our team made a big work analyzing different data, starting with different statistics, regulations, guidelines, all the possible surveys regarding this question. And we came with a very concrete strategy and message of joint responsibility declaration. Each of us is responsible for the health of all. And this was the strategy that we developed in two dimensions, two perspectives. One was short-term perspective, when we tried to make people to go to doctor to examine their skin, and joint responsibility to make their relatives, colleagues, friends to go examine their skin and do something about this problem. That was a short-term perspective, but the long-term perspective was connected with the lobbying part, with the influence of regulations. We tried to change the existing regulations to make them stronger, to improve them, to make some limits in them.
1 minute.
Okay, so regarding our campaign, first of all, we had very wide public media relations, and actually this support was so big when we declared this, actually, that you as media also are responsible for this health of each of us. All the national media supported us and became kind of informative sponsors of this campaign, publishing all the information. Another very important part of our work was connected with opinion leaders who also helped us to develop this message. More than 30 dermatologists all over Latvia agreed to support this idea to educate people and to speak also publicly about this problem. And they were available also on our webpage as feedback providers for this campaign. Okay, and parallelly we had also discussions with public officials, government officials about the needed changes. Speaking about results, thank you. You're on the time. Yes. Okay, so let's hear the questions of the jury.
I'm very interested in the results.
Thank you very much for this visibility. And the result was that, first of all, we had this support of society, who also created the buzz about this problem and spoke about it. People went to dermatologists, and they also actually, this idea of gender responsibility helped us to see kind of magic that happened, because people used our possibilities. I didn't mention it, but we tried to provide people with possibility to fight their fear again about this skin cancer problem, and to make maybe not big step when you have to go to doctor, and this is quite scary, but we gave them possibility to make smaller step, to call this doctor or to send email picture of the problematic zone. And that was very interesting, that we saw that first of all that really helped people to fight their fear. The second, people sent us not only their own pictures, but they took this joint responsibility and sent us pictures of their relatives, of their friends, etc. So that was kind of how it worked. And next step was that people came, and doctors actually didn't have good news for many of them. You see the result that more than half of them had problems. And in our campaign regarding this lobbying part, we could use it as a very strong argument that you see this is a really important problem and we have to do something about it. This is some pictures from the publications, and we use media relations in different also perspectives. First of all, we tried to get people to come to us to inform them about the possibilities, about the availability of doctors and possibilities to use this service. And second, of course, we tried to make additional pressure on public officials with all this buzz in media. Yes, very important document and changes for the regulation was developed. And I think that another actually very important result for us as communicators is that not always you need to have very big budgets, but even with small budgets, with I would say professionality and with belief in what you do, you can achieve really big results. And that is actually very important, I think, personally for me and my team, very important result. Thank you very much.
So how do you think in the long term for the society dermatologists,
yes,
as a profession, how long-lasting will be this effect for this particular doctor's profession? Effect of this campaign for this?
As I mentioned, we looked at this campaign in two dimensions. First would be short term, when we invited people to come to examine their skin and actually to think about this problem, to do something about this problem. And we see that there were results, and I think that maybe some time without campaign maybe we will see some results, but of course if you want to see a quite regular attitude and behavior change, then we have to do it again and again, at least for some time. But the second, I think, that is important, this long-term result, and that is actually connected with this lobbying part, all these regulations. And I think this also will help them to maybe spread their message in a long-term perspective that these limitations are needed and why they are needed. And if we have limitations, then people also will see that, okay, if I'm too young for the solarium, why? Is it a real problem, etc. So these limitations also would help us to spread some messages, some information to target audience also.
Could you please describe, did you receive any counter-reaction from beauty salons, from those who provide solarium services?
Maybe this question would comment my colleague who also was in this campaign, if that is possible.
Actually, a very small one. They try to develop this subject from their perspectives just through the media relations, but not so much. There wasn't arguments.
And they didn't participate actually in all these discussions regarding this documentation. So not so publicly, not so maybe more than personal level, but we didn't maybe face many. Well, they don't have many arguments, yes, I would say. Exactly. And we had really strong argumentations, especially when we used these data in the middle of the campaign, that after some of our activities we've made analysis of people who came and what was their results, and so we had more and more arguments, and so. So yes, that was actually this analysis was kind of research that everyone who came, they filled the questionnaire about their habits of tanning outside, inside, indoor, and so that was how we found out that actually in our society we are very uneducated on this question of tanning, of the risks of how to do it correctly. So maybe some limitations also is a very correct first step, and of course going on with some educational information later.
Thank you. And good luck to you.
Thank you.